January 4th meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety. Roll call.
Mr. Vestani.
Here.
Ms. Gray.
Here.
Mr. Margaret.
Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of December 28th.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Next, under item 5, correspondence. First thing we have is acceptance of engineering service proposal, City of Hammond Bike Ped Bridge over US 41, des number 1500416, out of the LaPorte District Office of the Indiana Department of Transportation. We have 5 proposals. Since they're not based on price, we're going to just read the names of the companies, and then they'll be reviewed based on the federal highway process, and a recommendation will come before this board probably in a couple weeks. First one is from DLZ, 900 Ridge Road, Suite L, Munster, Indiana. The next one is from Beam Longus Neff, 8126 Castleton Road, Indianapolis, Indiana. And we have one from ESI Consultants of Indiana, 1280 West 97th Lane, Suite 100, Crown Point, Indiana. HWC Engineering, 135 North Pennsylvania Street, Suite 2, Indianapolis, Indiana. And the final one is from Bollinger Latch and Associates, 333 Pierce Road, Suite 200, Itasca, Illinois. Do I have a motion to refer these to engineering for review and recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item B is an agreement with First Group Engineering for engineering services for street lighting locations at Van Buren from Locust to Vine, Madison from 169th to 165th, Woodlawn 176 to 174th Place, Maplewood from the dead end of the street north and south of 175th Place and 174th Place. The total cost of this engineering contract is $41,000. Do I have a motion approving it?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item C, correspondence received from Councilman Bill Emerson Sr. requesting $41,000 in gaming funds to be allocated to fund a design contract for street lighting at the same locations as item B.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item D, correspondence received from Councilman Dave Warple requesting $4,910.90 of the gaming funds be allocated for paving improvements to JF Mahoney Drive.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against, motion passes. Item E, correspondence received from Chief of Police John Doty requesting approval for the petition for retirement from Sergeant Daniel Young, effective at the close of business day, May 4th, 2018, advising the transfer of Officer Joseph Munoz to CID and requesting detective specialty pay effective November 5th, 2017.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item F, license agreement renewal with Speedway LLC of Enron, or
None.
Yeah, of Ohio for property located at 7345 Kennedy Avenue, submitted for approval. Do I have a motion approving?
Does Chris need to see this? Chris, did you see this? Yeah, do you need to see it?
Yeah, this is for testing at one of their
okay.
gas stations, groundwater testing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's-
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item G, correspondence received from at and T requesting permission to perform work at 6737 Calumet Avenue and Carlson Drive. They're going to be doing some underground boring to install some lines.
Underground?
Yeah.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item H, notice of violation hearing on property located at 4311 Wabash Avenue.
We had the property owner here with his daughter, but basically we inspected the property and discovered a basement apartment at this location. Based on the results of the inspection, the property is currently in violation of fire separation, ceiling height, as well as having permits for the creation of the apartment. Based on our department's research, it was discovered that no permit was ever pulled to create this space, as well as not meeting minimum code requirements to be used as a separate dwelling. Property was built as a single-family home, and that's what we're requesting it goes back to. The owner is aware of what we're requesting and is willing to cooperate with the conversion and sign the property. So I would ask that the board affirm the removal of the basement apartment at this location to convert the property back to a single-family home, and then we'll continue to work with the owner, to make sure that it gets performed.
Any comments?
My mom used to make it 30 years ago.
And he's been paying property taxes for 2 apartments. So he was wondering how was Hammond able to have him pay the property tax for 2 apartments and not have that approval back when his mother had created that apartment?
Yeah, I mean, it's typically like when we speak with the owner, we explain whenever Lake County goes out to do an assessment, they're going to value and tax the property based on what's physically present. Those assessors or property evaluators aren't determining what is legal or what meets current code requirements to be occupied. That's something that inspections being performed would determine. And at this property, there really wasn't any interior inspections performed until recently. The owner's been looking not to have any issues or the property's being vacant, which it currently is at this time. And as explained, we'd be more willing to give them the time that they need to work through the situation. If they want to apply based on the validity of the apartment to Lake County for reparation as far as not having it occupied, being taxed for that, that's something that they have to take up with the treasurer's department. Well, based on the findings during the inspection with the lack of ceiling height, even abutting the first floor joists, so even without a ceiling covering in the basement apartment, it's only 6'10", so even the space down there doesn't meet minimum requirements to be used as bedrooms. Without fire separation or proper permits pulled for the creation, that's basically how we're taking our stance as far as the finding is concerned. As explained by the owner, he stated that he was willing to be looking at selling it. So I mean, we're more than willing to work with him as far as work that needs to be done. I believe an electrician and a plumber is going to be needed to rectify the services that are installed to reflect the single-family home. But other than that, we can work with him as far as any type of demolition work, and as we do with any situation. But this property was built as a single-family home with the lack of permits for the split for the basement apartment. We can't very well, and with proof that was there during the inspection and lack of fire separation, it would just be completely unsafe to occupy it as a 2-flat. If there was a way to make it a safe 2-unit, you can explore that option with the contractor, but I'm sure that would include having to raise the house to be far worth more than what the house is worth. So that's why we're asking the board to affirm this removal, and then we can work with the owner at his convenience.
Does he understand all of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll make a motion to affirm the order.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item I, notice of violation hearing for property located at 952 Pearl. Is that property owner here?
This is Mr. Carrell. We inspected this property. It actually sits currently as a occupied two-flat, which is what, based on our records, the property was built as, a brick frame, two-story. Based on our inspections, we discovered there was a cellar apartment also created, so half of the cellar in this location was framed out and split off. It wasn't in any type of living conditions or occupied at the time of the inspection. The owner is actually a real estate agent, was aware that it wasn't something that was going to be allowed to be used. He currently does have contractors who are working on the property to bring it into compliance. As far as the demolition, we're working with him. I, explained to him it was okay if he wanted to take the walls down. It's just some debris that's going to be left. It's basically, 2x4s and drywall that was put up down there. But in order to ensure that the property remains in a safe and compliant condition, the seller, in accordance with Hammond Municipal Code 96.068, the use of cellar for habitation is prohibited. The ceiling height measured 6'8", which fails to meet the minimum 7-foot requirement. There were no permits pulled to create this space as a third apartment at this location. There's no fire separation between the cellar and the first floor apartment. And then zoning for this property, it's a residential area up there in Pearl. So if a third unit was to be approved, then that would actually go from residential to a commercial property, which it doesn't have the setback requirements or the lot size to hold 3 apartments. So I'm asking that the board affirm the removal of this cellar apartment, as the owner is already cooperating with starting that process.
Motion to affirm.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Those against? Motion passes. Item J, rental registration hearing for property located at 4219 Hammond.
Good morning. This house was purchased in August of 2017. We have it under Maria Castro, Efrain Noyola Rivera, and Elizabeth Noyola Castro. They have a previous address of 4025 Hammond, which they still do collect homestead on. Your name, ma'am?
Elizabeth Noyola Castro.
And who lives at this property?
It's actually the 4219.
Yes,
It's actually a rental
it
property.
is a rental. Okay. So we're just asking for her to register for 2017 at $5. And, now that it's 2018, to register every year, I can talk to you about that.
Yeah, we actually do have a rental property in Alice, and we do keep yearly registration on that property as well.
Okay, I'll make a motion to waive the late fee. This property must be registered for 2017 at a rate of $5 and 2018 at a rate of $5.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item K, an agreement to rehabilitate property located at 40 Waltham submitted for approval.
This is a property that's on the demolition list. We sent the owner an agreement to rehabilitate. They have returned it, and I would ask you to please approve it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against? Motion passes. Item L, the amusement device submitted for approval. Amusement devices.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item 6, matters from other board members. Item 7, matters from other department heads or their representatives. New business, old business. Under old business, we have correspondence from Jose Galvin regarding 1524 Summer Street. He wants to be put on the agenda regarding the property at 1524. Is he here?
I thank you for giving me the opportunity to repair the building, but the contractor I had, he started changing his mind. My budget is around 30,000, and everybody else wants like 60, 80, they went up to 150,000. So I'm here to try to figure out if we can solve this problem as quick as possible, because I have other things to do, and you do too. So I spoke to Mr. Kirk. He told me that he will allow me to knock the wall, that's what caused the problem. And he allowed me to keep the slab so that I can actually make my future plans without having to cause any more problems. But he told me that I had to come to you so you can allow me to actually just keep the slab. That's like 30,000 that it will save me if I rebuild later down the road. So now it's up to you if you allow me to keep the slab, and he will actually allow me to have the demo permits, pool and everything. The walls are only 10, 11 feet tall, cinder block. I just have to send the paperwork to Indianapolis for them to have approved, because it's a commercial building, and I just have to call the asbestos inspection for him to just to sign to say that there is no asbestos there.
So you're going to demolish the building, but you want to keep
I would like to keep the slab.
it's a slab on grade, is it? It's not below grade like a basement?
No, it's right.
Okay.
So do
Okay.
we have an existing rehab agreement?
Just to put this in context, I was trying to find a picture to show the board. This is over there on Summer Street. It was a garage. It's burned or something happened. There is no roof.
Oh, just the garage, okay.
It's just 3 walls. It's all that. So we put it on the order to repair, demolish. We
Mhm.
entered a demolition order. He entered a rehab agreement.
Okay,
The prices he's quoting sound absolutely outrageous, considering it would be cheaper to knock the thing down and just put something new on that
right.
garage.
How big of a garage is this? How many square foot? Huh?
Biggest square footage, I don't know offhand, but figure it would be big garage.
Like a private garage for someone's house?
No, like
A commercial garage?
It's 24 by 40 feet long. It's a small garage, like
Hmm.
almost.
Yeah, those prices sound way out of line.
or considering 3 walls are already up.
All I need is a roof, windows, which I already purchased 2 windows. I even bought the joists from Iowa. But I just want to get this problem out of the way. You know, I have little projects around the houses that I want to get done this summer, and within a few years I can sell one house, and then I can actually go back to that. But
If I could just clarify.
yes.
So there's a rehab agreement
Okay.
on it?
Correct.
Yes.
Mr. Galvin's concerned that we're gonna tear the building down before he gets a chance to rebuild it. I
So then
assured
that
him
needs
on
to
several
be,
occasions.
so then that probably needs to be redone. You need to change the rehab agreement to reflect,
Rehab agreements in place. What he's trying to do is, get the necessary contractors or a price that he can get to where it's manageable to do that. I think he's afraid that we're going to tear it down before he gets to that point. I've assured him on several occasions that that's not gonna happen. As long as we have a rehab agreement, he's getting quotes, he's getting movement, he's gonna, be prepared to work in the spring.
but now he doesn't want to repair it. He wants to demolish it, but save the slab. So I think the rehab agreement needs to be modified so that it reflects that.
Is that the case? You're taking another?
Well, it's just that right now, see, I understand you guys' position. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to, I really want to solve this problem because, see,
How do you want to solve it?
if I can solve this problem, my opinion will be if the walls are the one that are causing the look around the area, which I have 4 or 5 houses in the area, okay? So I understand everything there is. That reflects doesn't look good. So if I knock the walls, will that make it safer? And will that actually be better for everybody? If you allow me to keep the slab, then
What does he need, Carol? He needs a roof and windows and 2 overhead doors, right? Is that what you
yes,
need?
but the problem is,
If I may,
yeah,
before we go much further, in the rehab agreement, does it require the walls to be taken down?
no.
Okay, so taking them down, at this point, it's not really a safety concern. There are 3 walls that are not supported by a roof, so there's some concern there, snow or wind. But if the rehab agreement doesn't require them to be taken down, I don't see any reason for you to knock them down. It's not so much the eyesight. You're not gonna get any more time to do this. We've been through that process. We've waited years for this to get done. Now we're in a point where we got a rehab agreement. If you're moving forward and gonna get contractors signed and ready to do work, we can extend the rehab agreements. I'm not going to take it off the demolition list, and taking down the walls doesn't solve the problem. So it either has to be fixed, rehab, or removed completely.
See, that's the problem that I'm having right now is that
Well, sir, it sounds like that some of the prices that you are getting from contractors are a bit high compared to what the city has been seeing. If you'd like to keep the structure and repair it, I think the inspections department could work with you to get you a list of local contractors that might be able to give you a better price. If you just want to knock it down to the slab part, it sounds like Kurt's okay with that, and we can amend the agreement to that.
But I think what he wants to do is take the walls down and expect it to be taken off the demolition list as if the problem is solved. Now,
Well, if the whole building is gone and all there is a slab, is it going to remain on the demo list?
I think we're at the point where we're at, either it's rehab or the pad's gotta go too. So if he wants to take the walls down, it seems to me like it's never gonna be rebuilt. Why would he take down 3 walls?
Technically, our
Okay.
ordinance says if you take something down, you have to remove the slab. That's the issue before the board.
Okay.
He just wants to keep the pad. It is a residential slash industrial mixed use area. So if the board says, okay, fine, take down the walls, but leave the pad, and even if you want to put a timeline on it, leave the pad till a year from now or something like that, to give the time to do something, you could do that. But right now, we have to either fix it up or repair it down.
It just seems to me like that should be able to be done for like $12,000, $15,000.
if you point me a contractor, I got the 12,000. I even spent 5,000 on I joist the steel bar there right outside. It's an I-beam 26 foot that it cost me $1,200. I got them right there. I spent 5,000 in material. It's no contractor wants to do it for 15 or 10 or 20. I mean, they want 60, 80. I call every single one from your list downstairs. So, see, it's a guy down the street at 1325 that was allowed to keep that slab. I don't know what the agreement is. If I can fill the same requirements, I would like to do that, to keep the slab. Because a time limit, I don't need a time limit because I cannot promise you if a house is gonna sell for 100. Because if a house sells for 30,000, I'm back to the same problem right now. I can't rebuild it with 30,000, which no contractor wants 30,000. Okay, and it's a small building. It's half of this building right here, and it's the same height. Okay, it's not my.
And he's been working with Kurt on this?
Well, first I've heard about wanting to keep the slab.
Okay.
How would the board would like to?
I mean, I think if it was Kurt saying that he would be agreeable with it, I don't want to make a motion without speaking with Kurt on it.
Keep the slab, I guess the board can certainly decide that. My point would be it's gonna be a slab forever. Because if you can't afford to fix it now, he's never gonna be able to afford to fix it.
I mean,
It's gonna sit there with the slab as it is.
Okay.
Could you
It's not gonna be a
rebuild?
slab forever. Okay, 1 year is not going. I have a house in 1147. That's the only one house that might bring more cash into my bank account. Okay, that's the one house. Everything is in a 1500 block of Summer Street. Nobody wants to pay no more than 20,000 on those properties. This house might be worth like 40 or 50, but 1 year is not gonna be enough for me to do a little paint here and there. Property value is not actually too high, so I just want this thing to be out the demolition list and give me 3 years, and I'll go back and rebuild the building. My plan was, I've been buying the lots on that block one by one in the tax sale for the past 12 years. I am trying to make something of that area. I own about 60% of that little subdivision. I've been actually cleaning the area. My plan is to build something there, so I have to have some money to build. I've been just putting my labor. Every single day, anybody over here can see me over there working over there or cleaning or something. Winter, storm, rain, thunder, I'm right there. But I cannot promise you a date exact, okay? Exact.
Well,
I don't want to lien in my property either, which I just pay them off. So what was the point of just paying something off and
That
getting?
slab probably has a footing because that's a block building. So what does the edge of it look like? If you took the wall down, is there like a curb or is it flush?
I go and call, it's been quite some time since I've been in there.
'Cause there's some safety issues that if you have a curb like that, somebody will fall over that. So I'd like to send this back to, I'd like to send this back to code enforcement and see what you guys can work out with them. Maybe somebody needs to go take another look at the building.
If we could do it and give him an opportunity to keep
Right.
it, then yes, if it's a safety hazard, then we can't.
What I don't want is to have have this, wait another 3 years, because it's been about
Right.
3 years since it burned down. Wait another 3 years, if it's a slab or the walls are up or whatever, to have this situation remedied.
Yeah, well, it sounds like he wants to fix it, so you guys come up with some kind of plan with him and then come back to the board.
Okay,
Well, thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Item 10, meetings open to the public. Is there anyone in our audience who'd like to step up and speak? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.